At this time, Post Time would like to congratulate Kathleen Cain. She recently received the Special Appreciation Award from the Delaware Standardbred Owners Association for her many years of patience and assistance, helping Delaware Horsemen in the front office at Harrington Raceway. I had the privilege of visiting Mrs. Cain, who is now 92 years old, at her home to present her with the award. Tell me how excited or how honored you were when you found out that you got this award.
Well, I kind of expected it.
Mrs. Cain not only worked at the racetrack for many years, she also had a long history with the sport of harness racing through her husband, Herbert. Although Mrs. Cain was not hands-on with the horses, she loved attending the races. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Mrs. Cain was a huge asset, first for the Delaware State Fair, where she worked at the switchboard, and then moved over to covering the phone lines for Harrington Raceway, which was just one of her many jobs.
Mrs. Cain has worked here 48 years. She even came back when she wanted to retire, but we needed her, and she was here in 2019. For a couple of nights that year. Comes in, picks up just where she left off last time she was here. I mean, she's done everything. Answered the phones, stuffed the envelopes with the purse checks, taken some entries. The racing, before the slots came, all the racing information was conducted out of the old fair office, which isn't there anymore. But she had a desk over there. She was out front. She greeted the people. She helped with the entry room. She's done a little bit of everything. Firecracker's a good name because, let me tell you, she could set you straight. There was no wondering when you talked to Mrs. Cain. And of course, all these years I've called her Mother Cain because I would be over in the other office and I'd come over from the grandstand because we used to have to go back and forth. And the switchboard and all was in the fair office. And then she would call over when there were phone calls to the mutual office. And that was back when you couldn't make phone calls at the racetrack. That's how long she's been here. The phones used to get shut off. And that's how long I've been here too. So, that's one of those things. But she has been a big part of Harrington Raceway.
Tell me about working the phones at Harrington and how much you enjoyed that, because you were right in the front office.
I got to see all the horsemen when they came in and talk to them and help them what I could.
Well, I know they appreciated you very much, and they say you were very patient with them.
Well, sometimes you have to be. I only had one that I wanted to throw out. He got the 8-hole, and he said some awful nasty words.
And you didn't want to put up with that?
No. That's the only one that I ever had problem with.
That's pretty good odds, with all the people that came in and out of those doors. Right. Only one.
Well, they learn to respect you. You treat them right, they'll treat you right.
Mrs. Cain has been very influential for decades to many generations. I know my great-grandfather, Paris, knew her well. My grandparents, Vinyl and Pearl. My mom, Sharon. And then, of course, I've known her since I was a little kid. What she's done for everybody, just being a mainstay at Harrington Raceway, from hearing her on the loudspeaker, paging people, to just greeting you in the office, goes without saying. One thing I was very upset about when we got direct deposit for our purse checks was every Wednesday I would go in and see her and pick mine up. And I always look forward to going and seeing her, getting a hug, and getting my check. When you got direct deposit, there was no reason to go see her other than to get a hug or say hi. So it was kind of disappointing not to see her on a regular basis like that.
Well, I know she'll be very missed,
Yes, and we miss her, and it's always good to see her when we get the rare opportunity to see her, and I hope she's doing well.
She is, Vic. And I loved my visit with her and going through some winner circle photos from the past. And getting back to what Vic mentioned before, I asked her about that.
Well, I'd say probably the best part of the job is handing out the purse checks because they had to be nice to you then.
It made the horsemen happy when they could pick up a check.
You were one of the most loved people at the track.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for everything.
You're certainly welcome, and thank you.